Hi, everybody. This is Kalol here. I'm your trainer for this particular session. A very good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, depending on the time zone from which you are joining. Let us begin by let me first start my sharing my screen here. Okay. Before I proceed, you can post on chat. I would request you to kindly allow me to deliver my lecture. Give me some time to explain a few things, and then I'll ask you to unmute, and then you can ask your questions one by one. So I'll give you time for that. Please be patient. Kindly allow me to at least deliver a lecture to a certain extent. Only when I say, then you can go on unmute and you can ask your questions. But as of now, if you have any questions, kindly post them on your chat. And it is a vast topic. It is a vast subject. So I would really appreciate it if you can ask the questions which are relevant to what is being taught here. The focus is learning Linux, the basics of Linux. Okay, now before I proceed, I would like to know, like, how many of you have actually got a working AWS account? You can post it on chat. Is there anybody who was not able to create a AWS account at all? Like ignoring the fact that you're having some trouble with your debit card or credit card. That I will unfortunately not be able to help you with. But have most of us managed to get a hold of our of a AWS account? You can post it on chat there. I'll assume you have been able to create your AWS account, because that is a must. That is the place. Okay. People who already have AWS account, that is fine. Let me quickly log into my AWS account and let us start. Okay, so my AWS account has got a double layer of protection because I've authenticated using something called multi-factor authentication. That is a little bit advanced. But when you log in, my option is different because I'm using an IAM user. So you might be getting root user. So what I'm doing right now is that I cannot share on the screen because I'm generating a code on my cell phone using a authenticator app. That code keeps changing every 30 seconds. So I'm using the one which it has generated now. And this is a secure way to log into your account so that people cannot hack into your system. Okay, so this is what a AWS dashboard looks like. It has got multiple services here. Hundreds of services are there because this is your cloud service provider. So in that, I'm specifically interested in something called EC2, Elastic Cloud Compute. So what does it look like here? So let's, in the instances. So I've created one instance yesterday and I had stopped it. So I'll choose this and I will go to the instance state and I will start it. If you do not stop your instance, you will keep it will keep adding to the hours the server is being used. So right now it is in a pending state. So if I click on this hyperlink here, that is the link for the server. Okay, that is what the name is. This name AWS has given, and this name is I provided this name. Okay, so there is a mini refresh button. After a periodic interval, you can keep refreshing it. because this is in a pending state right now. As long as it is pending, I will not be able to log in. See, automatically as it has started. So this is basically just like switching on your computer. It takes some time. Once you press the power button on your computer or laptop, it takes some time to boot up. So this is what was happening now. It was showing pending. Now it is running. So here, whenever you work with AWS account, you have to log in. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me first of all draw a line here. Let me. So when you're working with AWS, you log in to your AWS account. Now, for first-time users, what you will be seeing is something called a root account. In root account, you will be required to provide the email. This is the very basic step. The email, this email is the one which you registered with, okay? Write it down somewhere when you are creating the AWS account, which you used for registration. And then the specific password also. Don't worry about my login screen. That is a little bit advanced. There is something called IAM user. I'm using that advanced level of security. That is why I'm getting that. But you should definitely be able to log in with these two values, the email ID and the password. Now, once you log in, you are going to navigate to EC2. Search for EC2. Okay, this is what I did. Once you get into EC2, then you will see the name of the server that you created. Okay, choose that server and then you have to start that instance if it is stopped. In Amazon Web Service language, each server is called an instance. So that instance is nothing but a computer. Okay. Now, this is the first step. You have to start the instance. Until and unless you start your computer, you cannot log into it. So now my computer is started. So here, what you need to note, the important thing to observe is, this is how you will actually have to log in. So there is this public address, public IP address. When your server is in a running state, let me grab this picture. So this is what your server will look like. This is what it will look like. Let me explain this. You're definitely going to need this. This part is this is your server name. Okay. The name that you provided. This is, oops. This one is a public IP address. This is what you will need. This is the one that you will need. There are two IP addresses here. Okay, please do not confuse. The second one here is the private IP address. This one. This will not work for connection from your Windows system or your any other system here. Why? Because you are not in that LAN. Now that concept is related to networking. We are not learning networking here, but keep it in mind. If you try to connect using this private IP, you will not be able to connect. This will work only when you are inside that LAN. That is an advanced topic. So remember, you will always have to choose public IP address. It will not connect using private IP address. So do not try with this. So this public IP address you will require. This is the first thing. Again, this is for people who are absolutely new. And what are you going to need? You are going to need, number one, to log in. Login to server will require these things. One is your public IP. And the second is the private key, which you downloaded. Yesterday, I had shown you how to create and launch an EC2 instance. Okay. So during that time, there was a key pair that was generated. So that key pair, just to give a quick recap, you generated a key pair when you launched the EC2 instance. That key pair has got two parts. One is the public key, and the second one is the private key. Okay, so what happened here is when you generated the key pair and launched the EC2 instance, the private key, this got downloaded into your local PC. Your local system, okay? Your PC, your laptop, whatever you are using. But the public key, this got stored in a particular folder in the server. Now, you might be thinking like, why do we need this? So these are the two things that you will definitely require to log into the any server that you create on AWS. Okay. In this case, we are calling it EC2. Okay. EC2, Elastic Cloud Compute. That is the service which is helping us create this server. So I need the public key and I need the private key. The private key is already downloaded. Now, if you are creating multiple servers, it is very often you might confuse like which key. So for example, if there are many locks and many keys, so each lock is like a server. Think of it like that. And each key is what you will require to unlock the lock. So if you forget like which key I have used in this server, in this page, when you click on that particular link for the server, there are all the details related to this server. So you first of all identify if this is the correct server you are in or not. And then you will have to scroll down. And then here, out of the many details, you will see the name of the key pair assigned at launch. So this was the key pair name that I created. Okay. So out of this, the public key is already stored in the server automatically. And the private key got downloaded in my downloads folder. So I'm now going to use the private key to connect to this public IP. Right. So which software am I going to use to connect? I will be using. So here, yesterday I saw a lot of questions were being asked why we are using Putty. Okay. So understand this thing. There are 3 different kinds of computers that can be present. Okay. For example, there are Windows-based computers. The different types of computers that are there, and then there can be Mac computers. And there can be Linux computers also, which you are going to use. Okay. Let me just quickly grab the picture. Give me a second here. You can connect using any 3 of them. The requirement of Putty will come up. So you can also have Linux-based computers. Okay, and you are connecting to a EC2 instance. Remember this. This is the key point here. EC2. You're going to connect to a remote EC2 instance here. Okay, and this EC2 instance, what is the operating system we are using here? We are using Red Hat Linux. The operating system which is present in the EC2 is Red Hat. Understand this. This is a core concept here, because this is something that you will definitely have to do every time you connect to a EC2 instance. This is the name of the operating system. Okay, this is the computer on which this is the hardware. Amazon EC2 is the hardware, and this is the operating system. Okay, so what you are doing is, you may be connecting either from a Windows system or from a Mac system, or you can be connecting from a Linux system also. Now, in the case where you are connecting using, so Mac in the background is another kind of, it uses Linux, its command line is similar to Linux. Okay. So Mac and Linux systems, they will not require, you don't need Putty here. No Putty required. Sorry, so here you can directly connect using SSH. Okay, that is possible. But if you are connecting from a Windows-based system, that you cannot directly connect like that. You will need additional software. This one is also using SSH. SSH is nothing but the security protocol that is used to connect. But you will need an additional software to connect. Some kind of software you will need. There are multiple softwares. The easiest one of them to use is something called Putty. Okay. So that is why you need Putty. You need Putty only to connect from a Windows system. Remember this. Putty is the software. So you will not require Putty for connecting from a Mac or a Linux system, a different Linux system. Okay. So Putty is the software that you will use. In all the cases, SSH. So SSH, simply put, is nothing but a protocol. Protocol is a set of rules which defines how you are going to connect. Okay. So in every case, every scenario, whatever system you are using to connect, you will definitely need these two values: public IP, private key of the remote server. So this is our remote server. The Amazon EC2, this is our remote server. Okay. Now let me actually connect first of all. Let me show you the connection process. So this is my Putty software, and I've already configured it for ease of use. So I will show you from scratch how to connect. I'll go to so this is your AWS Console. Console means where you are seeing everything related to your server. Okay, so this is the dashboard of your EC2. All the details are provided here. So I need, as I said earlier, I need the public IP IP address. So I will copy this. You can simply click on this, or you can highlight and drag, but it is obviously easier to copy it like this. So I have got, so this is the Putty screen. Let me make it better visible. So this is your host name. This is the remote computer address to which you are connecting. Okay, this keeps changing always. If you stop, as long as you are keeping this instance running, where is it? Here. As long as you are keeping this running, okay, so this is the instance state. That is the state of your computer. You can either stop it You can reboot it or you can terminate it. Terminate means completely dismantling. If I click on this, I will not be able to use this anymore. Okay. So I had already clicked on the start instance. That is why it is running. As long as this is running, it will have a fixed IP address. This IP address will not change. But if I stop it and then start it again, this IP address will change. This is the behavior because we are using on a free tier system here. If you want a static IP, that will cost money. Okay, but for our learning, we will use everything that is free. It is not required to purchase anything. So once I copy this, I will go to my, where is my Putty screen? I will paste this IP address here. You need to make sure SSH protocol is, the connection type is SSH and port number 22. By default, it will be selected. Don't manually change this, otherwise it will not connect. Then go to SSH on the left-hand side. Under SSH, there will be authorization, AUTH, and then there is credentials. This is where you have to upload your private key. So you will browse and Linux practice server. This is my private key. As I said earlier, again, I'm repeating, you need two things to connect, the public IP, the private key. Now, because I'm connecting using a Windows system, my laptop has got Windows 11. So using SSH and port number will always be 22 in in any case, any scenario. So I'm using SSH in port number 22. I have provided the public IP. I have uploaded the private key, and using the Putty software, I should be able to connect. So let me select this and I will just click on open. Moment I do this, this is the first screen I will get. Okay, you will just need to click on accept here and you will get this black screen now. This is the login screen of your EC2 instance. So now it is asking me, who do you want to log in as? Linux is a multi-user operating system. So there can be multiple users. So I am going to log in as EC2-user. Okay, I will have to press enter here quickly. So now I am actually connected, as you can see. So let me enlarge. I will click on change settings here. And then I will click on, where is it? Appearance, change the font size. So let me make it 18 or 16 will be good enough, I think. Okay, apply. Okay, so now it should be readable for everybody, but many of you are probably watching it from mobile. So actually, let me make it 16. Oh, it is 16 already. Let me make it 18. There. Okay, so now you have logged in. This black screen that you are seeing, this is not my computer. In the background, the blue screen, that is my Windows computer. Okay, this one is not my computer. This is the remote Linux computer. As you can see, I'm logged in as the EC2 user, and this is the host name of the computer internally that it is using. Okay, and if I go back to my AWS console, you will see that I am connected already. No, not here. What I meant was, I am connected using this particular private key here. Okay, from the key pair. So this is how you connect. Now, related to this connection, how you are going to connect. Let me open up the forum here. Do we have any questions? Let me see. I will have to. Emmanuel, can you kindly unmute the thing here? Can you allow people to actually speak up and post their questions?
Yes, Kalul. Now they can
just
unmute
unmute it, please. Okay, I think I also got the mute button. Yeah, guys, if anybody has any question related to what I have just now discussed till now, please shoot your questions. If any explanation is required regarding this. So we have only made the connection here. This is how you will connect to any remote Linux system. Our Linux system is this one here. No questions? Okay, then let me proceed here. So we have connected to our EC2 instance. This is the first basic step that you will definitely have to do. Without that, I mean, like, obviously, you have got nothing here. You can't do anything regarding your Linux practice. Somebody is posting on chat. Okay, guys, regarding the recording windows, please, I will appreciate if you can stop posting that question. Please join the chat channel and the Slack channel in WhatsApp. All our videos are getting, these class sessions are getting recorded. So you can click on that link, and if you have missed anything, you can follow that. Okay. And any question related to like using Kali Linux, Ubuntu, or there are more than 40 different distributions of Linux. We cannot learn all the 40 Linux distributions at the same time. The only one that we are teaching here is the most widely used at enterprise level and in organizations, and that is Red Hat. Okay. Having said that, your Linux, Red Hat Linux is something which is the most used, and 98% of the commands in all the Linux versions, distributions, they are similar. There are multiple other versions, so we are not teaching that. So it is pointless to keep asking, and it is also not physically possible to teach every operating system. So you cannot learn Windows 11 and Windows 10 at the same time. In your computer at any given point of time, there will be only one operating system. Okay, now somebody is asking, can we connect without any key pair? So that is like password. Is that using password authentication, but in EC2, you cannot connect without SSH because Linux is a secure operating system. Okay. So is that terminal whole Red Hat Linux? I did not understand the question. Probably you are asking like, this is called terminal. Okay. So what do you mean by whole Red Hat Linux? So see, understand one thing. This is not my desktop computer, this black screen that you are seeing. Okay, this is not my desktop computer. This is a different computer. This is your remote AWS EC2 instance. Okay, so this one has got Red Hat Linux installed. Now there is one important concept you need to understand. There is in Linux, there is something called like in operating systems, when you use it, there is something called GUI. Let me change the ink color. GUI versus CLI. Okay, guys, if you're asking me about your debit card and credit card not working, I cannot help you out with that. If it is not working, then it is a banking issue. And yeah, if you're asking advanced questions, please, this is a beginner session here. Connecting with DNS links and logging in using other methods is not something that we will be able to take care of in this session. That is advanced system administrator Linux level questions you are asking here. And again, Kali Linux, see, we are teaching only Red Hat Linux, which is best. Each Linux has got its, there is no comparison like that. Each version of Linux will have its own requirement. So we are not learning Kali Linux. Kali Linux is for penetration testing and for hacking. So we are not using that. We are learning the general all-purpose Linux, which is used for hosting servers, for managing databases, that kind of stuff, which is used in daily life. So we are not dealing with Kali Linux either. Let me get back. So any kind of advanced questions related to Linux or any other field, this is not the class. This is not the session for that. This is beginner level Linux understanding. Okay. So other applications like Putty. Yes, there is MOBA XTerm, but why are you digressing like that? You can use PowerShell to connect. There are more than one ways to connect. Start learning with one. So Putty is the simplest one to use. Whatever software you are using, you are not focusing on the thing that I'm trying to teach you here. The focus should be on SSH, the protocol, port 22. These are the keywords. Using public IP, using private key. Whatever software you use, it is immaterial of that. You will still need these values to connect. Focus on that. And please, so once again, for the last time, I'm saying we will be using only Red Hat Linux. No other Linux related question I will be entertaining, because that is beyond the purview of this this session here. For Windows, it is Putty. See, look at the diagram. For Mac and Linux, you can directly type in the command, SSH command. But most of us are going to use Windows only to connect. Okay. I'll give you that whoever has that issue, if they are using Mac or if you're already using Linux, then you should already know how to connect. Anyways, that is a little bit advanced. So for practicing, and you can, if you already have Mac and Linux, then you don't need to create EC2 instance and all that. You can directly practice Linux on Mac and Linux. Yeah, because they are Linux based operating systems only in the background. Okay, so now that we are, so yeah, GUI versus CLI. What GUI is, what CLI is. GUI is nothing but graphical user interface. Okay. This is the first thing that you people encounter. Yes, there are limits for running instances. They are not completely free. Graphical user interface. So when you create, this is a good question somebody has asked here. In your EC2 instance, when you create the EC2 instance here, so here you will, let me open it up in a new tab. I have a list of the instances which are running. Okay, so I've got only one running instance. There is a formula for this. Okay, so this instance related details we will be discussing in the last class, but it is not completely free. As a precaution, please use only one instance. For learning basic Linux, you need only one instance. If you keep one instance running, only one instance running for 31 days, 24/7 hours, it will still be free. But here, some people have said that they already have an AWS account. So please remember, AWS account is free only for the first year. If your account is more than 1 year old and you are creating instances, you will get a bill. So that is why I am prompting everybody, please create a new AWS account. Do not, if you already have an old account, it should be like maybe 2-3 months old, then it is fine. But to be on the safe side, create a new AWS account and only create one EC2 server. That is it. If you create multiple servers, you will get charged for this. New AWS. So details regarding AWS free tier, just search the questions you are asking. You can easily search it in Google here. Please check these links here. I'll try to address your questions as much as possible, but I cannot digress from the main class. Okay. So AWS free tier, learn more about free tier. Let me see what all is there. You can see these are the basic features, what you are getting. So 750 hours for EC2. Okay, these are the other services also, you have certain hours, but for EC2 monthly total, you will get 750 hours, and that too for limited type of. So anything that you choose that should have this free tier mentioned. Okay. So there are certain things which are always free and there are 12 months free. It is a complicated thing here. Okay. So everything is not free. Don't take it like that. Don't start randomly creating services or start using AWS resources. If you randomly do that, you will get charged. So that is why I am asking you guys, please do only the thing that I am doing. Okay, we will not be responsible for any charge that you incur because of something that you are doing on your own. Please be mindful of that. Whatever I am teaching, only do that part. If you create only one EC2 instance, you will not get charged if it is running even for the entire month, because 750 hours, right? So if you do a quick calculation, I will open up the calculator for this. So if you are, so let us say there are 31 days in a month maximum, and you are running it for 24 hours. So maximum still on in a 31-day month, it is 740 hours. And if you see, they are giving total of 750 hours. So if you run one instance, then only one instance, like here, I have got only one instance running now. If it is one instance, and if it is running for 31 days, entire month, for example, the month of August, then also it is 744 hours. Okay. But if you have, instead of one, if you have got two instances, I will multiply it with 2. Now you have crossed the limit. It is 1488 hours in total. So so what AWS will do, it will subtract 750 out of it, and they will ask you to pay for 738 hours. So remember this. Please do not create more than one EC2 instance. I am repeating again. Otherwise, you will get a bill. We cannot help you out with that. You are doing it on your own. So please follow exactly what is being taught in the lab. Okay. If we log in with one mail, but 1 year we use a different email, will that be okay? Yes, you can use. So right now, like I am using a particular email to log in. If you want to create a new account, create a new Gmail account and then use that Gmail account or any other Yahoo Mail, Gmail, it does not matter. The thing is that whatever email you are using, you will have to note it, because that email will be your root account identifier in your AWS account. Okay. So you cannot lose that email. You will have to keep that email with you. All your communication will be based on that. So one email, and for further security, you will also need one mobile number and one bank account. That is it. Okay, let us proceed. Now, graphical user interface versus command line interface. CLI is nothing but command line interface. Interface means like the method you are dealing with, like the screen, the keyboard, the mouse, these are all the interfaces you are using. Okay. So right now, this is Windows where I'm moving this mouse now. This is my Windows screen. Windows is a graphical user interface. You can move about your mouse. You can do left button click. You can use the mouse basically. But when you are coming to EC2 instance like this, most of the times servers will always have command line interface. They will not have graphical user interface. Why? Graphical user interface takes up a lot of physical resource to run. For example, this Windows system that I'm using, at least it is taking up a minimum of 4 GB RAM. Okay. Compared to that, this Linux system, the same functionality we can do without any graphics, of course, but it will take less than 300, 400 MB of RAM, less than 1 GB of RAM. So that is why servers are always tend to use command line interface, because it is very lightweight. You can do all of your stuff that is required, but using it will be very lightweight. Right. Now, this is the basic difference here. Here, you cannot use your mouse like you are using it in the, so this mouse that I'm moving, that is from the Windows computer. Okay. That is from the Windows graphical user interface. Here, the green cursor that you are seeing, that is the mouse in my command line interface. Okay. So here I can only press enter. I can, so Control C, Control V, these kind of stuff will not work here. So only keyboard you can use in the command line interface. Okay. So this is the first thing that you require. Now, let us begin with certain commands. Okay. Now, before I proceed, is there any question for me? Guys, you will have to, if you want to ask question, you will have to unmute yourself. Okay. Emmanuel, I'm like, is there any restriction on the, can you kindly check? Like, I don't know if people, they're trying to
They can
ask
unmute
questions.
the mic now, guys. You can unmute your mic and ask.
Okay, fine. Please don't feel shy. Otherwise, if you don't ask, I will not be able to understand. If you have any questions.
Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please
Yes, sir.
continue with your
Actually, I
question.
like to. Is there any minimum speed requirement for the internet to use AWS?
No, this is command line interface. So, I mean, like with even you can connect it with your data connection. 1
Oh,
Mbps would be appreciable. Okay.
okay, sir. Fine.
Your data connection also will work. No problem in that.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. Next, any further questions? Otherwise, I will start getting into Linux. Let me then start. Now, let me show you something here. What is the difference between graphical user interface and what is common? So suppose I want to see the content of any folder. Okay, for example, let me just quickly check. Give me a second. So, for example, this is my Windows C drive. So this is my PC, and then this is Windows C drive. So if I want to see the contents, so like drivers is one folder. I'll just click on this, and then I'm clicking on each folder and checking its contents using mouse click, right? So this is how you navigate in GUI, but you cannot do it. So you don't have the mouse here to use. Okay. Then how do you navigate? So for navigation in Linux or in using command line interface, so Linux, you will be using 99.99% time, you will be using as command line interface only. Okay. So this is your Red Hat Linux system that you are seeing now. Okay. As you can see, it says Red Hat here. So how do you navigate then? Just like I was showing in the what is there in a certain folder. First of all, you will have to realize like who are you logged in as. So the first command that you can, if you are confused who you are logged in as, you can just type the command who am I, and then you will get the name of the user here. Okay, and if you actually break this up, who am I, it will give you more details. Okay, your date, timestamp, from which IP you are connecting, all of these details you will get. So you can type, basically you will, if there are multiple users, when you are logged in, then you will need to check which user you are logged in as, just type the who am I command. This is number one. Now in Linux, there are 3 kinds of users. Let me explain that. There are 3 kinds of users. One is root. The second is regular. Root user, regular user, and system user. So root user, as the name suggests, this is the super user. The root user can do anything with the system. They will have no restrictions. They have got 100% administrative privilege. They can open any file, they can delete any file, they can create any file anywhere. They can move any file from anywhere to anywhere. Okay. That kind of user is called a root user. There is only one root user in Linux. Compared to that, day-to-day activities are done by normal human beings like us. So day-to-day, everyday activities do not require administrative privileges every time. Okay. So for day-to-day activities, we create users who are regular users. Okay. This one is for administrative tasks. That is when you will log in as root user. But compared to that, you will be logged in as most of the time you will be logged in as a regular user. So regular user is for day-to-day activities, simple activities, whichever does not require any administrative privilege. Okay, and then there are system users also. System users are the non-human users. Okay, this is a little bit advanced. So in the background, if any new service or any software has been installed, that will create its own service. And from the service, you will have another system user. So this one is a little bit advanced. So we will ignore this for the time being. But then you should know that these are the three main types of users. Now, how does it relate to our EC2 instance? So in our EC2 instance, your regular user is nothing but the EC2-user. The name of this user, EC2-user. This is your regular user in AWS. And root, there is the root user also in AWS. That is simply called root. That will always be called root. Now, for certain tasks, I will need to log into root to do those tasks. So how do I change user? I will need to change user. So if you see here, when I did, so let me clear the screen. When you have typed too much on your screen, you can just type in clear. And then you press enter and the screen will become blank. Okay. So who am I showed us that right now I am logged in as the EC2 user. This EC2 user is the regular user, but I will not be able to do everything as EC2 user. So I will need to switch as a root user. So for that, the command is sudo su. So there is a space after sudo su hyphen after a space. Okay. Be mindful of the spaces. Otherwise, your command will not work. These are Linux commands. So when I do this and press enter, see, earlier it was showing EC2 user here. Now it has become root. So if I type in who am I now, it will show root. Okay. So this is the thing. Let me actually, oops. Let me grab this because this is related here. I think I can directly copy this here. So what I'll do is I will at the end of the session course, like so that will be on coming Friday. I will share this. I will convert it into a PDF or something. I'll to see how I can do that. And then I'll share this with you, and then you can refer to these commands as well. Okay. So now, if I go back to my CLI, I will always be referring to this as the CLI, command line interface. So this is your CLI now, and I'm logged in as root. Okay. Now, let me try to install something here. Okay. We do installations, right? For example, yesterday I showed you how you can install Putty. So you go to the website. So like, for example, here, like if I try to install Putty, I'll just or any software as such, I'll search it on the internet, go to the website, and then I will the website will load. I will click on download, and then like the particular version I want. Further, I will click on it, and then it will start downloading. Okay, so as you can see, it is downloading the software here. And once it downloads, then I will just click on this. When I click on this, I will get the installation screen, something like this. Okay, this is, and I click on next and next, and this. So this is graphical user interface for installing. There is a path where it is installing in the operating system. So this is called graphical user interface. But we cannot do this thing in command line interface in Linux, in the black screen, I mean. This is how you are installing in Windows. Okay, but how do we? So I will just cancel this. Let's get rid of this. So suppose I want to install a particular software. Okay. So how do I do this? For example, in Windows, we have got Notepad, right? It is an editor. We use Notepad for typing stuff. It is a editor software. Okay. You can write code here, you can save it and then run it as a file. You can do multiple tasks. So similarly, in Linux also, we will need some kind of editor. Okay. So one of the versions of editor, which is very popular, that is called Vim. So if I have to install any software, so I'm teaching you two things now. How to install software, number one, and the particular software I'm interested in is an editor software. And we will use that editor software to create and edit files in command line interface. So let us first understand how to install. So so whatever we did using mouse in the graphical user interface, we cannot do that same thing here. So how do we install? So there is a command for that. The command in Linux is, in Red Hat Linux, is called DNF. Okay. DNF. And then the DNF is nothing but the package manager. This is a software. This will download the required software and anything else additionally which is required to run the software. And it will also distribute it in its proper folders and directories. So DNS is a package manager. It can install, it can remove, it can do multiple tasks. So in command line interface, it looks as if the graphical user interface is, it is actually easier to use, the graphical user interface. But later on, as we proceed with the course, you will realize command line interface is way more powerful than graphical user interface. For example, using graphical user interface, you can install one software in one computer at a time. But using command line interface, you can install one software in 1,000 computers at the same time. Okay. So if you are taking 5 minutes to install in one computer, so obviously for 1,000 computers, you will require 5 into 1,000, 5,000 minutes minimum. But you will, if you use CLI mode with the correct commands, in 5 minutes, you can install that same software in 1,000 computers. So command line interface is difficult to learn, but then that is why we have joined the course to learn, right? It is difficult to learn, but it is much more powerful than graphical user interface. So let me proceed to show you how you can install. So DNF is your package. I will actually, let me type the command and then I will give you the breakup also. So using the DNF tool, it is a utility or a software, you can say. It is pre-installed in Linux. So then we have to tell Linux, what do we want to do with DNF? So I want to install. So install is the keyword here. After DNF, you have to type install. And then you will have to give the name of the software. So the name of the software I'm interested in is Vim. That is it. DNF install Vim. So if you want other software, after DNF install, you will give the name of the different software you want. So let me first install Vim here. Enter. So Vim is a editor, okay? Just like Notepad, Vim is a editor. So now what has happened here is Red Hat is checking its database from where it can download this software. Is it available or not? So it is showing the green one. So Vim is available. But to install this Vim software, it will require additional softwares also. This one I have not given. These are called dependencies. Dependencies are nothing but additional softwares. Okay. So that who is taking care of? I don't know about these softwares, but these softwares will be required to run the main editor software called Vim. So DNF is the utility that is taking care of all of this. So let me actually take a screenshot of this and put it, because later on you will need this for understanding like what happened here. So let me take this part here and give a description also here. Control V. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for all of you to learn. So let me mention this. This is, so this part is the command here. Okay. So DNF, we will call this package manager. Package manager utility. It is a utility or one of the softwares. This part here, the install this is the actual instruction to install. DNF can do other things also. Okay. What am I writing? Actual instruction to install. And then this part here, the name Vim, that is name of software. Name of software that you want to install. Okay. Now, furthermore, this part here, this is showing your the package that will get installed. And this part here, these are the additional softwares required for main package installation. Okay. You will, these are called nothing but dependencies. Installation of software will be a very common task for whoever is using Linux. Okay. That is why you should know these keywords. So Vim is the software that I'm going to install and using the DNF utility. I've given the specific install command for it and the name of the software, and DNF package manager will take care of the rest, whatever dependency softwares are required. You don't need to worry about that. So let me go ahead and go back to the screen. Now it has stopped here. It is showing me total download size will be like 8.8 megabytes. And after installation, it will become 34 megabytes. So is this okay? So yes, I will select yes. Why? Okay, whatever options are there, you have to choose only that. You cannot use anything else. That is why it is called command line interface. So I will press enter, and now the installation is happening. So what you were doing earlier in GUI, so now it is complete. Do you see the difference? GUI compared to CLI. This is how you do installation in CLI mode, command line interface mode. Okay, let us learn by installing another software. So this time I'm going to install something called Tree. Tree will actually show us the graphical structure of the folder and file hierarchy that it will show. So if I'm installing this, again, I will press Y. Tomorrow we will see how you can use the tree command. Okay. So I will actually not teach anything more today. From tomorrow, we will get into further details of the commands. So I will open the forum now for any kind of technical question related to this course and whatever I'm teaching here. Please feel free to ask now. I will ask everybody to unmute. I'm asking all to unmute here. So anybody has any question, please ask.
Yes, I do have.
Please go ahead.
See, you have mentioned that DNF to install the software, right? So this software, will you keep it somewhere else, or it is automatically you are fetching from other repository?
From where? Other. So you are using the word repository. Okay.
Right.
So here, whenever I'm trying to, in very simple terms, think of it like this. We are invoking the DNF utility to install.
Install the software, correct.
Okay, we are giving the specific. So install is a specific command. Okay, DNF can do multiple tasks. This can remove software. It can it can update. It can do many things. So here the specific command is to install. Install from where? Install from some database. Okay, so that database, it has to be stored somewhere, right? For example, I will show you the graphical user analogy here. So if I want to, so this is Windows 11. So if I go to, what is that name? Microsoft Store. Okay. So Microsoft Store looks something like this. It is loading. Similarly, so see, this is the Microsoft Store. If I can install games, I can install Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, Netflix. These are the various softwares, right? So Microsoft Store in the background is similar to your DNF. And then when I click on any software, so maybe I want to install Netflix. If I click on that, so this is the name of the software you are giving. And then I will click on get. I'm not going to click on it. So this is the Microsoft database, or in Linux world, that database is called repository. Okay, it has got a special name, repository, or simply repo. Okay, so Red Hat has got its own repo. So when we check the command line interface, when we asked, so for example, in Vim, when I gave the instruction DNF install Vim, I'm giving the CLI DNF, please go ahead and install the Vim software. So immediately it started checking the repositories. And these are the repositories which are currently available. From these, so these are the database from where here you can download the software and also its dependencies and also install it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. I got it.
Cool.
So,
To get the list of these repositories, if suppose somebody asks you in your interview, guys, you will type like DNF repo list or yum repo list. Okay.
So so that is a little bit advanced. So I was planning to get to these things later on.
I just wanted to say.
So guys, before you ask your question, understand this is a Linux basics class. Okay, we will go through the majority of the basic commands first, and then we will entertain your questions related to intermediate level Linux questions.
So I have a question. Installation can be done in root user only or any other?
No, we can. So let us do this thing. So let us, instead of installing, let us remove it. So right now, let me clear the screen. This is a good question. Please follow through. I'm putting you on mute. It is 𝐿WPLabs, right? Kindly, don't mind. I'm putting you on mute.
I
there is a
kept
little bit of noise.
No problem. Yeah,
cool.
Go ahead.
So yeah, so your question was like DNF. We have, so who am I now? I am root. I'm root user. Now, as a regular user, can I install or uninstall software? Yes, I can do that. So let me, first of all, log out of root user. So I will type log out. And if you see, now I am logged out of root user. So I'm no longer root. Now I am EC2 user. If I do who am I? So at times it becomes necessary for regular users to also use, they will require administrative privileges. So for example, I don't want, like the EC2 user wants to remove the Vim software. Okay, so they will have to use sudo command for that. Super user do. Sudo is nothing but super user do. Any kind of administrative task, if you want to undertake, which root can do as EC2 user or a regular user, you will have to use any command that you start, you will have to start with sudo. That is called super user do. And after that only, so this sudo gives you temporary root level administrative privilege. Okay, so sudo, then DNF. So similar to DNF, there is also yum. Yum we will discuss later. It is the same thing. Yum is an older version of DNF. So DNF is the latest version for package management. of software. Okay. So DNF, now instead of install, I am going to type in remove and then the name of the software, Vim, and I will press enter. And then earlier it was in green. So now it is going to be red, and these 4 packages. So it is not only going to uninstall the primary Vim software, the dependencies which were additionally installed, the additional software to make it work, they also are going to be removed. So I will press yes here now. And now no longer Vim is available. So that is the answer to your question, how you can use DNF as regular user apart from root user. Yes, any more questions? Please go ahead. How to get GUI for Linux? Vaibhav Singh is asking. Okay, so the GUI thing is something that we are not going to deal with. That is not part of the course. But if you want to download and install, you will need virtualization software like OracleBox or VMware, and you can download it. You just search it in Google. You will always, there are which version of Linux. So your question is not complete. You are asking how to get GUI for Linux. There are more than 40 distributions of Linux. Which Linux are you talking about here? Go to that website. If it is available, you will get it.
So to get GUI, just to add in this, Vaibhav, generally we will not work on GUI in Linux. Okay, like Linux, we will be using command prompt only, and that is the only thing which you will be saying in your company also. If you want to work on GUI, maybe in like some scenarios, I know what I remember. Like generally, suppose if you want to install some software, maybe Oracle software generally it requires VNC viewer. Okay, so what you can do, there should be a software called gnome should be installed in your Linux, and that gnome should run behind the scene.
This is again getting
and
a little bit advanced.
Yeah,
this is a beginner course.
We shouldn't answer all this because people are asking just.
Yeah, I've already discouraged this in the beginning. So people who are asking advanced questions, please understand this course is meant for basic Linux. The rest of the people will get thoroughly confused. They are new to Linux. If you have queries, if you have reached to that extent where you want your advanced questions to be answered, please Google it. This course is not meant for that. We will keep digressing like this, and we will not achieve our goal of completing the basic Linux commands here. So right now, please ask questions related to whatever I have taught till now. Or
correct. This is right. Whatever
yes.
Kallol has taught, please ask questions from there. That will help us to be.
I will answer your questions which are advanced, but they will be one-liners. For example, the person who asked, I forgot the name. I apologize. If you want to, so Red Hat, if you want the Red Hat thing, you will have to log in. Okay. And then from here, you will need to create an account. And from there, then you can download this. You will have to go through that step. Okay. So you see, it is saying buy it. Now, this is the same Red Hat version which you are seeing here now. The only thing is it is in GUI. This is in command line mode, and that is enough for you to learn. In companies, you will be rarely using it as in graphical user mode. So learn strategically. Go from beginner level to intermediate, from intermediate level to advanced. If you try to learn advanced without knowing the basics of beginner level, you will simply keep looking at thousands of videos. You will gain some knowledge, but it will not be a directed approach. Overall, you will become a jack of all trades. Okay, that is not a good way to learn. Learn the basics first. That will give you a firm holding foundation on which to stand upon. Okay, so there is this famous quotation from everybody, like in our childhood, we must have, we have watched this cartoon, Alice in Wonderland, if you remember. It used to come in Doordarshan, I remember. Okay, so remember this adage here. This is the book I'm talking about, Alice in Wonderland. So start from the very beginning. That is the best place to start. That is the approach that you should have for your learning. Please go ahead. Any more questions here? What is there? all those software like Vim is getting downloaded from open internet or some database. So that is the repository concept. I just now answered that. It is managed by Red Hat. Yeah.
Sir, can multiple person take the Putty at the same time with the same interface instance?
Let us refine your question. Multiple person means
Yes.
different human actors are trying to connect to the same user, EC2 user.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
logging in using the same user account. Yes, that is possible. But then what you will require, because it is a multi-user, multi-networking operating system, Linux. Where is my note? One note. So what are the things that you will require? If you have your remote server details, what are the details? Your public IP, private key, and the Putty software. And if SSH port 22 is open, you will be able to use. If I have understood this correctly, what you asked is, like this is my EC2 instance. Okay, the remote instance. Now, in the same instance, from 4 different computers. So this is computer 1. Okay, let me actually just give me a second. It is better explained with pictures. So let's say this is one computer 1, this is computer 2 in a different, oh, come on. Control C, Control V. Yeah, let it remain like this only. 3 different computers are there. Sorry, let me remove this. And now let me connect. So this is PC1, PC2, PC3. In all the 3 computers, you are trying to log in as EC2-user. Okay, so if you have the same public IP, and when you, whichever computer launched the EC2 instance. So let this be computer 1, let this be computer 2, let this be computer 3. So if you have launched the EC2 from computer 1, then that means your private key has downloaded here. So this is where you have your PPK file. So if computer 2 and computer 3 from different networks, they want to connect, you will have to share that PPK file with these 2 computers also. Okay, and then you is using Putty, you can log in as EC2 user, but you will need this PPK file. Make sense? Does that answer your question? Yes, please go ahead. Anyone else has any other question?
Okay, so I would like to again repeat, guys, we have to create AWS account. You all have to be ready with the AWS account. Whatever Kalol is doing, you have to do those practice test things in your AWS account by creating a server like we have done yesterday. If you have not yet created AWS account, you have to go and type in Google free AWS account or check the video for yesterday. We have explained you how to create an account, how to check those. I'll pass a Slack URL currently in the chat window so that you all can join the Slack which I have passed yesterday as well. Okay, so that you all can join Slack and ask your questions even if we are not there here. I would also request Emmanuel to share the WhatsApp group. Those who have not joined the WhatsApp group, you can, if you are not able to join Slack channel, maybe you can ask questions in WhatsApp after like while practicing, and we are there in WhatsApp, we will be able to help you out. Okay, Thanks, Kallol. I'll be dropping out, Kallol. I think
Hello.
we are already
No
crossed the
problem.
time.
No problem.
So
No
maybe we
problem.
can all join tomorrow.
I think somebody has got a question. Somebody's
Go ahead.
trying to ask a question.
Hello.
Go ahead, please.
Myself, I have a question.
Go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Ask it.
In the Linux, you did it. You have to enter the Vim software and like that.
Install.
I am
Install Vim.
also before going to execute the command, we have to install. Is it right?
Before, let me understand your
Before
question
doing
correctly. Before doing what?
Before entering the command in the Linux CLI interface, we have to install the Vim software and enter it. Is it right?
No,
sir?
no, no, no. You have to first enter the command line interface. This black box is your command line interface. When you are logging
Yes,
in at the very beginning, so you are logging into your command line interface first. After that, you are giving the command.
Yes, sir.
Without logging into the computer, you cannot give the command. If maybe I understood your, ask it again. I'm trying to comprehend your question here.
Yes, sir. You should. We have to log in the command window and enter the command. Yes, sir. I understood.
Correct. Okay.
But the software will how to install the Vim software? Is it available in our computer? or
How to check
PC
if the
or
Vim
not?
software is installed properly or not? Okay, good
Yes,
question.
sir.
You can do look at the screen. Look at the screen. I'm showing you that now. All you have to do is type in which, WHICH, and after that the name of the software, Vim. And if you type enter, you will, if you read something like this, user bin which, no Vim in these paths. So no Vim, that means it is not installed. This is one way
Yes,
of
sir.
identifying if the software is there or not. Or another way is Vim, name of the software, hyphen version. Okay, these are common. This is a very good question you have asked. So see, if it comes up with the command, like a statement like command not found, then that means Vim is not installed. Because if you remember, I had removed it, right? So now,
Yes, sir.
so now I am EC2 user. If you see, oh, sorry, my mouse got moved. So who am I? I am EC2 user. Okay, so I'm a regular user. So if I am a regular user and I want to install Vim, sudo dnf install Vim. Okay, earlier when as root user, I had given only dnf install Vim. But now I'm taking root help, root privilege. That is why it is an administrative task. So I have to type sudo. I will press enter here and I press Y. So now it has installed. But we are doing, now after installation, we will need to check if it is working or not. Okay. So again, which Vim, now the answer will be different. See, it is giving a path where the Vim executable file is present. So if you get a path like this, that is correct. Other way, second way is Vim hyphen version. Press enter. Did I do something wrong? Wait.
We have to install the Vim software from.
Wait, I think I mistyped something. Let me clear the screen. Vim hyphen version. Okay. You're getting a lot of information here. So all these details. So if you are getting, usually it will not be so large for other softwares. But yeah, if you're getting something like this with the version, or simply you can use which Vim, or which after that the name of the software. Okay, so like I have installed tree also. Tree is a command I've used. So if you're getting a path like this, then it is installed. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. That is, we have to enter the command and install the software what you want from the cloud. Is it right?
From the cloud, from the repository. Yes, everything is on the cloud, but you have to use
how
the
to
correct
install
word.
it, and we
The
have
repository.
to check the
Installation.
where we install the software is not is having the path or not. We have to check the command.
Yes, if it is showing the path, then it is installed.
If it is not showing, but what would this?
Then you have to install it. If the path is not showing, then maybe the configuration is not correct. But usually with which command or with the version command, you should see if it is installed properly or not. Otherwise, you will have to do the configuration. You will have to install it again. Make sense?
Thank you. Thank you for explaining.
You're most welcome. Any other question?
Sir,
Go ahead, please. And you
Sir,
can
you
call
said
me
that-
Kalol. You don't have to address me as sir. It's okay. I'm just a regular guy like you.
don't no worries, sir. Sir, you said that this Vim is a notepad.
Advanced editor. It is similar to the Notepad software. Notepad is graphical user interface, right? You're using
Okay.
it in Windows. Okay. So if you use Linux so Linux also has got graphical user interface, but this course is not meant for that. You will be dealing with servers. Servers are always command line interface. So just like Notepad, you have got multiple software. So there is Vim, there is Gedit. There are multiple softwares like that. So Vim is an advanced editor. You can write code, you can write script, you can give, basically for that, you can edit files in Linux using Vim.
Okay,
Next,
sir. Sir, can we
next
open it,
question.
sir?
Vim, yes, you can
Yes, sir.
open, but then you will have to create a file. Okay, so if I do ls, I'll quickly, so let me create a file. So for example, to create a file, you have to use touch command, or you can directly use Vim. So Vim, and then there is no file. So Vim can also create a file. So let me create a test.txt file. Okay, enter. So now this is your editor mode. Okay, this is Vim that you are seeing now. Okay, and then you have to press I, insert, and then you have to type whatever you want to. This is a test file. So I'm using the Vim editor to write this. I will press escape. So this thing I was actually planning for later on. I'm saving and quitting the file. W is for saving and quitting. This I will explain later, but if I do this, so now if I use LL, now see that test.txt has got created, right? This was done using the Vim editor. I will only refer to this question now. There is a lot that happened here. This I will discuss in class later on. But this
Okay.
file got created using Vim, and you can again edit this same file again using Vim. That is what the Vim software is for.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next question,
So how
please.
can we know? How can we know the files are there in this Linux?
How can we clone the file?
No. Means this like
What is the
like
spelling?
my
I'm not
computers.
getting the, yeah.
Sir,
Copy paste,
like
you
my
are asking.
No, sir. In Windows,
Then?
we have the desktop.
Hmm.
On that, we have some apps like my computer and some
You want to know
recycle
the
bin.
path. You want to know the path where the file is.
Yes, sir.
So there is find command for that. That will come up in the later classes. Don't worry, I will teach all of that.
Okay,
Your
sir.
question right now, okay, that will come. Don't worry, I will. There is a sequence of events that will happen. Don't worry, I will
Okay,
address that in future classes.
Okay, sir.
Next
Thank you.
question, please. I'm expecting questions related to whatever I have taught today. So Vim, AWS account, Linux, CLI, they related to this. But feel free to ask anything. Okay, in case I know it is new for the beginners, so it is a new experience. So have the patience, watch the videos again. Many things have come up one after the other. I will repeat again, like yesterday Rahul had also mentioned, don't try to practice during the session. Otherwise, you will not be able to focus on the understanding that I'm giving here, because I'm doing a lot of drawings here also to explain which part is what. So the commands that I have used today, one last thing I will show, whatever commands you have used, you can type history, and then press enter. It will give you the list of the commands which you have used. Okay, so all these commands I have used today. So let me post it here as well. Okay, you can refer to this, and later on you can ask your questions regarding this. If there are no more questions, then I will have to wrap up the session today. We can meet again same time tomorrow, 8 p.m. sharp.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Sir, because of my network issue, I am not able to hear the class regularly.
You will get the
actually I left the class at 8:30 p.m. sir, and I rejoined the class at 8:45, and at the time
already I had proceeded.
Hello,
so you will get the recording for these classes. Don't worry. That is why you have to join the WhatsApp channel and the Slack channel. You will get the recorded videos link.
Yes, sir. I tried it, sir, but I am not able to get the classes. Means I am the classes are not coming soon.
Okay. So first of all, if you are able to hear me clearly, you have got a network issue. Even I was not able to hear half of the question, but I could make out that you're not able to view the recorded video files. So get in touch with Emmanuel. Emmanuel, you there on the call? Kindly help out the folks here who are not able to view the recorded sessions. Okay, don't worry about that. That is, you have got a network issue, Rahman. I think I read the name Rahman. So don't worry about it. Half of your question I was not able to understand, but you have some recording issue. That is your personal issue. You have got a network issue. Because if is there anybody else like people are you able to access the recorded files?
I'm able to hear you good, and I think everything is good.
No, it
so
was a
what
issue with Rahman's system only.
Yeah. So there is a LMS link which is shared now. Guys, please use that link. It is very simple. Click on that link. You will be able to access the videos. If you are still not able to do, that is the reason we are giving you again and again WhatsApp link. You can share it again. Join the WhatsApp group. Whatever you have doubt, you can ask. There, I think everyone have access to.
I will just show the link Rahul has just now posted. I'm pasting this same link here and I'm pressing enter. So let's see what is happening. I'm not logged in, and see this is free. So probably I think they will have to register, right?
Rahul? Yeah. It's free. Once they click, it will be guiding them. That go.
So you fill up these things here, and then when you log in, you will have the videos available. Don't worry about that. But you will have to check the link. You'll have to get inside this link. Okay. Well, what is the next question? Okay, I think then we will wrap up the session today. If you have any questions, please, once again, please join the WhatsApp group. Please join the Slack channel. Just now, if you want to, we have showed you, like if you want to access, watch the demonstration videos, then you can go to this link, log into this link, and then you will have the videos available. Okay, on that note, I will wrap up the session today. I have to jump into other meetings also. A warm welcome to people who are new again, and please try to learn and implement all the stuff that we have learned in these 2 days of session till now. Create your AWS account, log into your EC2 instance, whatever commands I have taught, do a hands-on of those commands. And then gradually in the subsequent days, we will learn the rest of the stuff. Thank you all for joining. You have a wonderful day ahead. Take care. Bye-bye.